Right on the final pitch there, you kind of saw you point immediately to the umpire after the check. When you know it was a strike at first, you trying to talk the umpire into say, hey, give us some love here?
I saw it right away, but, there's just times where guys miss calls, and it happens, but I wanted to make sure that I had Hoskins back and make sure that he knew that he went. And, it was kind of a delayed call. I kind of, stopped for a second, but I was like, no, he definitely went. It was a fun one, and, I'm excited for tomorrow.
Matthew was talking about on that final trip down by Wes. Doesn't really remember what Wes was saying. Doesn't remember telling Wes that I got this. We're gonna get it.
Yeah, Wes came out to the mound and Hoskins interrupted him, not in a disrespectful way, but Hoskins was so locked in that he wanted the ball and he wanted to finish this game, and he did exactly that. And he had great confidence with himself. It was a tricky at bat in the end there, but I knew he was going to come out on top.
As an offensive player to hit, how do you like when your pitchers kind of show that moxie, that emotion, fire like that? What does that mean for somebody like yourself?
It just means a lot more. It gives us hitters even more confidence that they have our backs, and we're going to fight for each other out there.
Coach kind of talks about didn't really like the two-strike approach against Texas yesterday. What was the offense's mindset entering the game trying to change that?
I just think we were thinking about it too much. We just got to go up there and shrink the zone. And, if there's a call that's off the part of the zone that's called a strike, it's like, so what? We're going to go in there and, shrink the zone a little bit, lock in, not try and do too much in the box, kind of just shorten our approach up. I think before we were trying to do a little too much, but now I feel like we're back on track, and we just got to shorten the game up a little bit and just do the small things right.
The first 3 times y'all scored, they scored today. Y'all answered in the bottom of every inning. Just the key to that, and how important is that when you're trying to beat teams like across the field over there?
Yeah, we met before our team meeting today, and everyone had a piece, in that meeting. But it was just like, hey, let's have confidence within ourselves. We're not only doing it for us, we're doing it for the fans, we're doing it for our brothers in the dugout. After yesterday's loss, we kind of took it personal, and we wanted to come back and, punch someone today.
I guess, how do you not try to do too much at the plate?
Just by breathing. As soon as you think in the box, the pitcher's going to have the advantage over you. If you go up there thinking I'm the best player on the field, you're going to have more success. And, just doing your breath, for me especially, I try and do my breath work before I go on deck and while I'm on deck, in the on-deck row, I'm like, I'm the best player out here. This guy's got nothing to beat me with. And if you beat you, you just tip your cap. And, 3 out of 10, gets you in the Hall of Fame in the major leagues. But again, you just got to do your breath work, slow the game down, and, I try and pepper it right off the pitcher's head. That's what I mean by not doing too much, and the rest will take care of itself.
When did you know you were going to have a good game today? When did you feel that?
When I woke up, I was able to really eat, sleep, and hydrate last night, and I got to the facility today. I had a really good stretch in. Worked on my breath work, everything that I worked. With Dr. Drake back home in Scottsdale, Arizona. He's taught me all that stuff, and his process has really worked for me. And if I sleep well at night, I hydrate, do all the right things, it's gonna work out for me out there. I know it didn't work out on Friday. It happens. My goal is to come out and play my best again today, and ended up in my favor.
Thanks.